Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our low fuel motorsports adventures, where we are going to be trying to make our way up to the top here. Our ELO rating has taken a small hit before. We are obviously trying to improve that now. Currently stood in the safety rating as Iron Plus. That's obviously going to be the main objective of this week as well here. Our safety rating has taken a small dip, is now getting up there again. And our safety rating currently is in E3. We're going to be trying to improve on that to ensure that we can do the higher ranks as well. Now, week 5 was all about Silverstone at first. And then we've also got some Imola races today, which is what we're going to be starting with. So first up, we've got a 25-minute race here over on Imola. Getting ready for the start then, starting from P12. So a successful qualification run has gotten us into the middle of the field, and we are away so well compared to the rest. Unfortunately, we do have a little bit of a touch there, and he's not able to recover. We do make it through, however, as the drivers behind us and to the left of us are just making an absolute nightmare race out of it in the beginning here. We managed to make it through quite safely, but it's a little bit of backing up into each other there. Luckily, we are stable into our position here and to create a small gap behind and ahead as well. So from now on, only focusing on keeping things together, keeping things tight for now here. Race start was over quite well, and for LFM standards that actually went really good here. Now it's just a matter of getting in those clean laps and working on the rest of the race here. Trying to defend from behind actively. Here we go a tiny bit wider than we would have anticipated. But in the end, we'll be alright. Making our way through now. A little bit later in the race, we have found ourselves in P10 here, so a good improvement. The Ferrari behind us did make it past, however. We're going to be trying to gain that position back here, going wheel to wheel. Ferrari is leaving space nicely, and we should just have him on the inside now. So we're going to also make sure that we are off really well into the small straight here. And in the end, we are most definitely ahead here, so able to slot in again before the left-hander here. Obviously, we had the inside already, but in the end, it won't even be necessary, as we are now creating a gap here where the driver behind us is falling off quite a big margin here. Making it through nicely, just keeping things clean. Most important part. And that leads us into a nice P9 here. Still got a long way to go as well. So obviously we got to keep things clean for now. It is a 25-minute race we are watching, so obviously this will vary quite a bit. We've got quite a few races this week as well, so our ELO will fluctuate, and so will our safety rating. But so far, speaking about safety rating, things have been just about alright. Into the last corner we go then, and we finished the first lap on P9, so a good improvement considering we started in P12, and from now it is only up from here as well. Making our way through nicely. Slipstream is simply not strong enough, as you can see what it looks like on the inside now. We are absolutely pushing it to the limit. Gotta make sure we end up on the left side here. Braking as we see an incident right ahead of us here. That should be able to leverage us some spaces, and we do manage to get by as well. The car behind us slowed down quite a bit as well. Therefore, we now push ourselves up to a little bit of an earlier position, which is quite nice. P7 it is, and then as we swap back to the next part here, you can see that from behind we have a driver coming right up there. Small bump from behind, but we managed to get through, but unfortunately we do lose control of the car and we have to let him go. And another of the drivers will also be able to capitalize on that as well, so that does bring us back a little bit more, but considering we got a bit hit from behind, it won't be that big of a problem, at least incident points wise, which is obviously what we're aiming for. So P9 it is again. Still not bad if you consider what we qualied in, and as we're 9 laps into the race now, are getting closer and closer towards the end as well. Through the chicane we go nicely. Livery's looking clean as always. And now just a matter of getting on that throttle earlier while dealing with the pressure from Guillotin behind us. Just gotta admit it as well, this track is just so good looking. There's a little bit of a bump from behind, and that will push us off quite hard as well here. Now he is waiting for us at least, but that was a big mistake by the driver behind us. As that will also put us a few positions back here. We're driving slowly, letting the faster drivers by before we get up to speed again. As the Ferrari has actually waited for us as well. So realizing he was the one to make the mistake. And we're able to call things off for now here. P11 it is then. The Ferrari behind us is a little bit slower, but we are definitely catching to the BMW ahead of us. Lewis in that car is looking in his mirrors as well. When do we open up an attack? Just a matter of waiting for the right opportunity to rise. And when that will be, time will tell. Fortunately, we're not able to do it here on the straight, so we're just waiting now, patiently. And when's that first move coming? Well, not anytime soon. CMW's now driving away a little bit more. He's quite wide on the exit, though. Does make it through nicely here. Gotta make sure that you don't accelerate too quickly. We almost go on the throttle too early. We managed to recover nicely, so therefore we stay in our position. As we are now once again trying to catch up to that BMW. There, a big spin. Going the other way around. We have to wait for all the drivers to get past us as well before we join in the track. Which is just so awkward sometimes. Going off into the grass then to try and rejoin. There we go. We are now safely back on the track, but it does cost us quite a few positions. So in the end, not bad at all. Just trying to recover nicely. But it has cost us quite a few positions, unfortunately. P15 it is then in the end. Making our way through here. As the Porsche ahead of us is not holding his brakes once he's gone off. So very hard to predict where he's going. Luckily we managed to avoid him, but only barely. Now coming to a halt here, looking from the POV of Heusingveld. As the driver we're watching here, the McLaren chasing us. Not giving up just yet. We are into the last lap of the race, and there's a beautiful dive here, but we do touch in the end. That will cause us both to be slowed down. Heusingveld then continues driving as well, so unfortunately, that means there's also a little bit of beef between us now. I see Matisse just making their way through nicely here. This is the POV we had on the brakes here. That looked alright, to be honest. And then he goes by, but leaves no space for us. I'm just going to wait here until he actually can get out. Luckily, we do manage to do so, as the McLaren also takes quite a bit of time to recover. Definitely not a great ending to that race. That's also going to be impacting our safety rating quite a bit as well. As that was quite a big shunt. That's harsh, but that's just how it is sometimes. Making our way through now. Final lap of the race, so trying to see if we can gain any positions here. Onto the brakes you have to go here. Luckily we managed to. Not bad at all, not bad at all. Still we are so far off the McLaren now. It's just kind of driving in no man's land, but we're trying to catch up with him at least. We've got very little time to do so. As obviously this track is not really a traditional Mercedes track either. Which doesn't really help. I kind of personally feel as well that the Mercedes is kind of getting out of date here. But yeah, it's going to be P13 here. Some drivers ahead of us are already disconnecting as well. So overall, not a bad race. Could have been cleaner, but that's just how it is sometimes. That is us driving over the finish as well. And that means our race has come to an end. Parking it up in the grass there to reset then. This is how it looked like. We started off great. Went up to P7 at some point, but unfortunately towards the end we did fall back due to some incidents. One big one as well. It's gotten us in such an unfortunate position. Yeah, that's it. The safety rating's gone up, but our elo's gone down again. which leaves us at a little bit of mixed feelings here. Now getting into next race at Silverstone, where a chance of rain is most definitely possible as well. So that's a little bit scary. As we are getting into that race now. We are P14 in terms of ELO this race, meaning that we are aiming... sorry, we are 14th actually, ELO-wise, which means we are going to be aiming for P13. Making our way into Maggots and Beckets for the first time. They're taking quite a bit of distance, knowing that eventually somebody's going to crash here. And I think you already saw the dominoes falling there. Now not holding the brakes, which means we get collected. Some people will just never learn, will they? It is tight. It is tough. That happens, I suppose. At least we are able to make it through here. So actually, despite that massive incident, we actually do end up gaining a couple positions, as there's been so many drivers going off. Absolute massacre. The first couple corners around Silverstone. Now we find ourselves in a good battle towards the end of the lap as well. Gaidri, Matisse, as well as Laban. And we do get a tiny bit of a touch from behind, so we do end up going off. Any drivers ahead of us are just continuing like nothing happened in the first place. So that's a little bit unfortunate. That's just how it goes. P21 it is then, after all the incidents, and losing a couple positions as the car ahead of us there, the red car, can be seen going off into the distance. That's what one race could do. Over at Silverstone, things are just so tough out there. It's a difficult track as well. P19 it is by the end of the lap. Making our way through the first corner. We make a small mistake, meaning we're low on speed here. Luckily, the BMW ahead of us is able to kind of make it through safely. And we do fend off the other BMW. It's the Valentino Rossi car, of course, ahead of us, as the other BMW now goes for a dive down the inside, and he does end up making the corner. So that is, unfortunately, another position lost, but we managed to keep things clean. At least, which is something. Using the maximum of the track limits here to make our way into the right, and now the BMW is going a little bit slower on that apex, so maybe an opportunity will come. Not just yet though. I'm just waiting a little bit. P17 it is at the moment, getting ready for the two tight turns here. So we have to go on the brakes and go all the way back to first gear. As we once again get onto the throttle here, trying to keep the BMW M4 behind us. That's easier said than done. You can see how much more speed he has on the exit here, and is looking to get by, but doesn't dare put it side by side. Now we have to fend them off during this side of the track. Where are we going to be finding that pace? I don't know. But we gotta try keep him behind us. So hopefully we managed to do so. Just Catafot is getting a lot closer now, which is a little bit scary. Now it's actually Caban we're having behind us. Which means that BMW is probably on a different lap then. Oh no, it is just updating slowly. That's exactly what's going on here. Catafot is behind us, just a smaller margin. Not exactly sure what has happened there. But we make it through another corner safely. Just keeping that pressure high. Making sure we are on the throttle as fast as we can. And P16 it is then. At least for now. Hoping to keep up those numbers if we can. There it goes, the BMW. Down the inside here, going ahead of us as soon as we enter Maggots and Beckett's. Fought for it long and hard, but in the end we unfortunately couldn't do it. Such a shame, but it happens. Six in this, going a little bit across the grass here, but luckily the car is still responding to us nicely. Behind us is the Lamborghini on a blue flag as well, so have to let him by here. That is Spence in P3. Doing quite well with the Lambo, considering the car isn't really popular anymore nowadays. As the McLaren also goes down the inside here and does end up overtaking us. Now just focusing on those clean lap times again. Or go for a move down the inside. No, it's the brakes. Missed. That is a little bit awkward. And that does, unfortunately, mean we're going to have to wait for him as well. That was clearly our fault. These things happen, of course, from time to time. But that's also a little bit of a shame. We're doing well up until then. Here we let the driver by the Lamborghini once again. Now this time we gotta make sure we don't outbrake him here. We struggle with the turn in a little bit, but that also means we're able to get on the throttle early. Both make it by. This is just, of course, a replay of what happened. Now, you see, just too aggressive on the throttle. And I'm taking the Lamborghini down. Not what we wanted. That's just how it goes sometimes. Now just gotta find a place to wait safely. There goes the Lambo. And we continue our race here, so we've waited for him. Still a little bit of a shame we made that rookie mistake, but that happens sometimes. As the end of the race is getting closer as well here. 22 laps done by the leader. We've done a couple less. So you can already see the Aston Martin here is very keen on getting by. Now this is another blue flag scenario. So obviously once he's got the pace, we're going to let him by. That is unfortunately the end of the race there, I think. Yep, that is the case. So everybody is connecting now. That will be the end of it. It wasn't too bad, but it still was a bit rough there on the edges. In the end, we managed to finish P14, which is supposed to be what our elo is anyways. So not bad at all. But we were hoping for just a little bit more. Once again, we gain safety rating. Once again, we lose elo as well. Getting ready for another race at Silverstone here. Once again, a chance of rain as well, as we currently are 15th in terms of elo in this lobby. And here we go then. Everybody ready to go. Helicam showing everybody come by here, but we are starting from the pits, unfortunately. Forgot to press the drive button after a phone call came in. And unfortunately means we are starting off all the way at the back here, but on the plus side as well. That allows for a little bit of extra time to gain up and get those clean laps in here. It is tough and it is tight, and we know that as well. We're driving in no man's land for the first beginning of the race. We go quite wide here. And we have to be careful on the exits here. And picking up a stop and go 30 seconds as well. That's a tough penalty to be getting. Means you have to come into the pits then. Make sure you brake in time. It's important. And put on the pit limiter as well, so you have to come in now, wait for 30 seconds and then drive out. And yep, not allowed to do anything else, so that is tough. Stopping here. Now just waiting for 30 seconds straight, which is quite a while. We turn off the engine as well to refuel, thinking that we didn't have the penalty. Went unnoticed. That's a shame as well, right? Now we just have to try and recover later on in the race, but we're already so far down. And there we go. We make our way out here. Engine on. Takes a little bit, but we have to get on that throttle soon. What is going on there? We're wondering. So much time right now. Just those 30 seconds take forever when you're into the pits here. That's a quarter of a lap basically, and that will be the end of the race as well, as we don't serve our penalty correctly, it appears. That means we're also going to get a huge elo minus here. Not finishing the race. Our safety rating does go up a little bit again. Now getting ready for another race here, and this time we are together with our brother Sven Matthijs. Both similar classes here, fourth and fifth in terms of elo here, so we're bound to do good here. Only 8 drivers in the race, unfortunately here. Not that popular of a race, but in the end it doesn't really matter here. Race to race, only 7 people end up showing up here, meaning we've lost 1 more in the process. And here we go, we are off here as well. Matthijs is in the same car as us, but unfortunately the livery doesn't seem to be going that well, and everybody's off here, so now it's just a matter of avoiding our brother. 2 players passed already, and now Jan Matthijs ahead of Sven Matthijs. Coming into Maggots and Beckets, we're going to give each other space, making sure we don't take each other out. That will be awkward at the next family dinner. So not bad at all. So far coming in on the exit of Maggots and Beckets, we got to be careful. And it is the Matthijs here just together. You unfortunately don't see the livery. It was actually enabled on Sven Matthijs' car. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it loaded in. It was there during the race. It wasn't there during the replay anymore, as the software has purged it, I'm afraid. But P4 and P5 it is for now. Which is not bad, not terrible at all. Just get where we came from here. Sven Matthijs, the driver we are now aboard with, has to defend here from the drivers in behind it. This was also when the Ford Mustang GT3 was added, so the recent gameplay, and that Ford Mustang has quite a lot of straight line speed here, so in the end he does make his way by. And we let him go on the braking as well, but he goes really wide. Now the other Ferrari also getting into the mix here, so it's Sven Matthijs to fall back quite a bit. Everybody's making his way around now. We do leave one of the Ferraris ahead of us. It's a Ferrari sandwich at this point. As we do make our way in now. And the P6 it is for Sven Matthijs here, whereas Jan Matthijs is still all the way at the front here in P3. This is also the first race doing together as a team. They got put into the same split now for the first time. Took a little while as well before we actually got the race together. Sven Matthijs here, cutting that corner as much as he can to get an extra to the rest. Now coming into Maggots and Beckets, you can see that the Mustang just kind of stopped, and then we kind of hit him at an awkward pace, and there's not much that we can do about it here. That's awkward. That happens, I suppose. Here we see the incident again. Driving alongside the Ferrari here, and then just absolutely stomps on the brakes here for no reason. And I think at the last moment he wanted to back out, going side by side into Maggots and Beckets. Which is a smart thing to do, just not as abruptly as he did. And Matthijs, however, still in P3. Another disconnect coming in. to the race. Server becoming more empty every single time. Making our way into serve our mandatory pit stop here. Let's hope that things go better this time round. The Ferrari's done the exact same thing. So it's gonna be about nailing that stop now. I think our pit stops all the way back there, so here it is, making our way in now. As the Porsche ahead of us of Liang will take off before we can. Get a bit of an adjustment made as well. Now, fueling as well. Doing tires as well, it's going to take a little bit longer. Of course as well, and I don't think that's necessary in this series, but it does give you that extra little grip that you could be hoping for. It takes forever, it feels like, but the car ahead of us is doing the exact same thing. And there we go again. The Ferrari seems to be off slower. There we go again. So we stay ahead of the Ferrari for now. Don't end up losing much positions either, so that's good. It's P4 now as Sven Matthijs has come by, but obviously he's yet to pit as well. So eventually they will have to swap around once again. Making our way through now. And on the straight, we are only 5 drivers remaining as Liang has left us now as well. Jan-Matthijs in P4, whereas Jan-Matthijs now in P2. Holding on strong here. Good up position as well. The gap behind isn't massive, so we need to keep on it if we can. And now making our way through here nicely. As we see another disconnect here. Drivers that have finished are now leaving. But we might just finish P2 here with Sven right behind us. There he goes as well. He's going for the disconnect. Low on fuel as well, so won't be pushing too hard anymore. But yeah, that basically comes us to the end of the race here. The last couple turns here. And just accelerating for one more time. Making our way onto the start finish here and finishing the race in a respectable P2. And there we go. This is how it went position-wise. Jan is the purple line and Sven is the green line here. So from P7 to P3, not bad at all. It's P2 on the server though. I see driver ahead of us disconnected earlier. And that does gain us both ELO as well as safety rating. And quite a bit of safety rating as well here. 0.47, that's the highest we've gotten. That's just such a clean ride right now. Now getting into the next race. We are once again finding ourselves over at Silverstone. This time we've got quite a few drivers on the grid here. So P13 is our starting position. Making our way through. There's an incident at the start here. You can already see as well, we're getting a little bit more comfortable on these wheel-to-wheel fights now. Fortunately, we do end up touching towards Maggots and Beckett's. Now finding our way off to the track is difficult. Gotta go all the way around here. It's hard to turn around in those kind of scenarios here, but slippery grass is our pathway back in. Now, once again, back to a similar scenario here. It's a different race though. And this time we are at Imola again. Just taking it easy on the start here. You can see the pink car just approaching at such a high speed right now. One of the Mercedes has come off as well, and we rejoin right ahead of him. Do gain one in the end there, but obviously we got overtaken as well, so that will be equal. The Berg is right behind us, and equal machinery. So who actually comes out on top is a surprise. Time will tell. In the end, well, is Van den Berg going to be quicker? It appears to be. And here we go again. P22 it is then, all the way at the back. Looking to be gaining positions early on. This is a massive gain we're getting on him here, and Manga already knows what time it is, so make our way past nicely. Now headed back to an highlight over at Silverstone here, looking at the start. Obviously these are all separate races as well that we're doing, but we can't see them all at the same time. That'd be such a long video. Once again, a similar scenario where we have to really brake hard and push people off into the background. There we are once again in the same lobby with Van den Berg. It's a driver right behind us last time round, but we gain a lot of positions into the first couple corners at Imola. Very nicely done. And well, so far the race has been clean for us. It's P18. Are we able to avoid the chaos? Yes, we are. We're just about though. So many drivers going off. Means we're gaining some easy positions. Are we able to keep that up though? Only time will tell. Now skipping on to a little bit of a later part of the race here. Already up to P12 thanks to all the incidents. We have made a massive jump here in the standings, but we do get touched from behind and that will spin us around. And then unfortunately Ferrari behind us has got no other choice but to collect us. Gets hit in the back as well. That's tight. That's tough. More chaos all around as we try to get onto the track desperately. I'm afraid we won't be able to do it here. Yamatis then back in. This P7 this time round here. Once again back at Imola. Which was one of the 2 weekly races that we had. Imola obviously being a quite popular track as well here. Matisse this time in P7 here. Unfortunately we are not together with her brother this time round here. We'll have to do it all alone here. No teamwork available. P8 it is after some incidents at the start, but we are relatively okay. So just working on that safety rating time and time again. As the race is going quite nicely here so far. Keep in mind as well that these races are all in chronological order, so we do make our way in. Results are better and better every week here. So off to another start here. Some familiar names now already. Unfortunately already towards the back, it's just a massive incident. Everybody gets collected. Big shunt, but we're able to keep out of it. We are almost crawling through the first corner. Taking it easy for now. Just to ensure that we do things well. And P11 it is. We're now turned into P9 as we overtook a couple of the crashing cars. Overall, I think it's fair to say that that was not bad at all. P9 it is now, building up a gap. The car behind us will be proving quite difficult. As the Aston Martin's relatively quick here in. What a massive dive that was as well. They managed to avoid each other nicely. A little bit later on the lap, we can see that the Aston Martin behind us is gone, but there is another BMW. There is another Aston Martin right behind us here, going for a move perhaps down the inside. And well, we're getting a little bit more comfortable wheel to wheel. Unfortunately, we won't be able to do it here. The Aston Martin slides his way through. Still no contacts, which is arguably even more important at this point. Doing exactly what we are supposed to. And yeah, Matisse then P8 it is. For now, as we've seen a couple drivers fall back all the way here. Drivers that were at the front in the beginning have come into pit early on or have been involved in even more incidents, whereas we have kept it clean. P8 it is for now though. But definitely a good midfield drive so far. Nothing wrong with that. And that is the next race coming on here as well. This time at Silverstone in the dark here. A tricky thing to be having, of course. People underestimate that as well. But driving in the rain is just so difficult. But driving in the dark is arguably even harder with your limited visibility around the track here. It's only the car lights. It's scary as well, right? Luckily we do make it through. P8 it is in the beginning. Then we go on board here. A tight little touch with the driver behind us, but nothing major, as now they lose a tiny bit of speed here. But they're going to try keep that attack open whenever they can. Going faster and faster every time. Need to recover, and there's a dive down the inside, and also a little bit scary as well. That makes us P10 as another Porsche goes diving down the inside, as that will conclude our race here. Now, we are currently at another race. We're going to show a longer one here. It is P21. For us in terms of ELO, so ELO's a little bit tough here. It's a difficult lobby, and we are also starting from P20. Now the good thing is here that it's only upwards from here. These are also 2 longer reviews we're going to be doing here, so we're going to stay aboard a little bit longer just to show the progress we've made here. Which is mainly on both getting faster as well as keeping things a little bit more clean. Once again, we take it easy at the start. And that's to avoid all the incidents. Of course, you can already see a couple drivers driving slowly. A couple drivers going off the track here, and the rejoins are always messy. And now we're ahead of it, which is quite nice. P19 it is. Looking to recover, seeing if we can gain even more position. There's a driver ahead of us who's got a drive through. The Ferrari behind us is also getting a little bit closer to us now, going down the inside. I think he has the advantage. She's going to try and stick it too. She will, as 2 more drivers have gone up into the back now, finding themselves stuck in the sand. You're managing quite well here. Things are being kept clean. Surprisingly, that is, of course, as LFM obviously has its moments. Into the first chicane. Over on this side of the track, we managed to do quite well. We're sticking with the Ferrari ahead of us here. Second last corner we go into. Keep things clean, and the first lap has been a good success here. Gaining a couple positions and also keeping things clean, which is just equally about as important. Now an attack opens up behind us here. It is the driver passing us now. Back going for a move down the inside then, and we do let him. Driver behind us goes really wide and has to go and eat some sand. Just slower driver on the racing line as well, making it tougher with leaving space for the rejoin. Things are just so tight out here. Here we do let him go as well. Things are getting dicey behind us once again. Car going sideways. That was the car of So, I believe. Luckily, we were able to stay out of trouble. Staying trouble-free is by far the most important part for now. Working on that safety rating, working on the pace. P17 it is here, going aboard. Once as well. Here we go, perhaps going for a move on the driver that's gone wide, and we do make it pass nicely. He's leaving us space as he has to. And more chaos all around us. Do keep it clean. Safe to say the race hasn't been a massive success for some of the drivers here, going off time and time again. But we are keeping things cleaner. Seeing the Ferrari coming off. This is going to be slower on the pace now, but we do not quite have the tightness of the gap to go for it here. We might be able to use a little bit of the slipstream to our favor. Hopes to get closer. At the moment, not yet. P16 is what we are pushed into. Once again, a driver going wide as well. Trying our best to keep with the drivers ahead of us here. As the Ferrari is now also getting closed up by the Ford. We go a little bit wide, but it's nothing major. Just looking for a gap time and time again. For now, kind of driving in no man's land. The driver behind us is quite far away, but the drivers ahead of us are a little bit faster. So there was one car into the barriers there. Had a massive incident, as shows as well just how unforgiving this game really can be. Faster and faster. The first gear we go, perhaps a little bit too aggressive, but no, we do make it through. Another driver going wide here. It's going to be so much slower here. Meaning that if we want to stay with the cars ahead, we have to get by now. Unfortunately, there's no good way to do so now, so we stay behind. Just accepting that TG is driving away here. There we go again onto the straight. I have to look behind us as well here. This is a little bit later. So we have pushed up to P12. The first couple corners, we fend them off quite nicely. You can just see how hungry he is here. He wants to get by so desperately. First attempt evaded. He's still quick on that exit here, so we have to keep defending as actively as possible. So obviously we do not want to give up the position here. And there he goes for a dive down the inside, and the BMW might try and capitalize as well. He touches a little bit here, and now on the outside line we have to let them all by. Keep racing again. It's a little bit unfortunate here, losing quite a few positions, and now also we have Dunner right there behind us. So P16 it is again. Not bad at all for now. Trying to stay with the pink Ferrari ahead of us, but that's not an easy job. There we go, another driver going by us now. That's another driver we tried evading for a long time, but unfortunately this time we can't. Sometimes you just have to let the drivers go, and now you can already see he's trying to create a gap here, so it seems to be a tiny bit faster than we are here. Using the maximum of the track here as well. Chicane it is. Look at how aggressive the turn-in is there. Actually ending up making it through. Left-hander coming up here. We take it quite well. Shifting down to first for a split second here. We're going on the throttle again. Now, can we stay with Dunner for now? Seems like he's got a good exit. Later on in the race, though, found ourselves fighting with Sujak instead. Just opted for the Garage 59 British GT livery. Absolute stunner, that is. Really one of the best looking cars. E16 it is. And then unfortunately we have to cut the chicane there. Can't make it through. Simply too wide, I'm afraid. That sometimes happens. P6 in this, it's also getting darker outside, so it's going to obviously play a factor into this as well. Just trying to keep Sujak away and maybe able to get closer to the Ferrari as well, but he's got quite a big slipstream now as well. Whereas we are a little bit further away from the driver ahead of us. Helmut is in P15. Coming into the first couple corners here. I mean, first real corner. Obviously there is another corner basically on the straight, which is technically a corner. And Matisse will take it for now. P15 is not bad, it's stable. 13 laps, we are getting closer to the end of the race here as well. Considering the ELO in this lobby, this is not a bad position to be in at all. And the pace definitely has improved over time as well, which is absolutely massive. A small mistake made, however. Here we go, side by side again. Luckily able to fend off the first attack as well. Jack's not happy about it though. He wants to get by. Just looking for an opportunity to do so. Drill braking quite a bit into the corner there, hoping to make it. Jean-Baptiste still defending nicely. Making their way through, also knowing they're getting towards the end there. Chicane made through nicely as well. So once again, we're just getting closer to the end of the track now. Now going for the onboard as well. Or Sujak falling off a little, but is still following us. So every turn-in point needs to be proper, and this one we do manage, although we do lose a bit of time as well. And obviously we're able to get on that throttle just a little bit earlier. You can see the McLaren falling away. As long as you maintain those optimal shifting points. Here we go. Getting ready. Go across the line. One more time. Into the first chicane we go then. One of the drivers has gone off. Massively it appears, but we make a small mistake. Losing quite a bit of time. And the rejoin is unfortunate on that 296. Luckily no damage done. Still holding on nicely, hoping that the McLaren doesn't send us down to some of the gates of heaven. Perhaps a move on to Dunner then. Dunner's made a small mistake. We've caught up to him again. Did let him go earlier. Now he seems to be a little bit slower, and that car looks damaged as well. It's not bad. Could allow for an opportunity. Not for now then, as we get shunted from behind. And hard as well. Yeah, that's a little bit unfortunate now. Losing positions. Looking to rejoin safely as well. Just when can you actually be very patient with this as well? We don't want to get into the way of other drivers here. Sure, at this moment it sucks. But it is obviously our problem when it comes to the rejoin. So we have to let him go. Push back to P90 now. I was just so desperately. I think Sujak realized he was kind of running out of time to make a move and then just decided that maybe you should just send it. It's obviously not the way to go. Here it is, some of the first finishers already disconnecting from the race. Making our way through. Going on the throttle. And then to make our way across as well. So that is the second last race of the week. Obviously these recaps are weekly. We're going to be trying our best to keep you up with everything. In the end, it is P20 to P19, which is an improvement technically. Although there definitely was more potential into that as well. Just unfortunately that big shunt came at such a problematic point. And well, do lose some elo. Do gain safety rating again. Now another race here. A longer one at Silverstone. A mandatory pit stop. Just like we saw before. P20 it is elo-wise, and qualifying-wise it will be P16. Finding ourselves at the middle of the pack here. As we are racing here, some drivers were off a shocking start. We have to kind of brake here, and that kind of causes a rubber banding effect where everybody has to brake. Can't really drive into them, can we? Getting ready for Maggots and Beckets for the first time. Hoping to recover well from the start here. Unfortunately, we had to brake and lost a couple positions, and now through Maggots and Beckets we lose another. We are keeping things clean tonight as well, leaving all the space, even though we want to go side by side, which we will. So not out of it just yet. Everybody's here is just so quick, and it shows. There it is, a big incident at the front. We were able to just take the escape road off, but do lose time, and rejoining is a little bit tricky as well. The McLaren luckily leaves us enough space to do so. So some more positions lost now. And so we continue our race on safely. Now aboard with the inside cam. It's Johansson right ahead of us. Another Valentino Rossi livery. But going for a move down the inside as we decide to play it safe. P20 it is at the moment as we enter lap 2. From Maggots and Beckets, you can see the BMW is going quite wide. Maybe we'll be able to keep up, and maybe even we'll be able to get by. Trying for a move down the inside, but unfortunately there's no space, so we try again later. The gap is just too big to make a move here, so we're kind of waiting. for now. We go a little bit later on the brakes to try and get that turn in nicely, but unfortunately it does compromise our exit speed. We go quite wide, and you can see as well that the Aston of Kharkov makes it through. Now we got some catching up to do. Speed 20 it is now, second last unfortunately. But still a long race ahead of us here where everybody's going to have to pit at least once. So I'm not necessarily too concerned here. We've got some time to catch up, and catching up we will. So at least one of the BMWs lost speed, going way too wide, and now also the Aston Martin on the absolute edge is able to make it through. Only barely though. And we try and recover our race. Well, some drivers are just falling off behind us now, and makes me wonder if they've got damage as well. A good possibility. Another driver's gone off. That's one of the Ferraris. That pushes up to P20, all for free. And we'll take that. Into Maggots and Beckets now. Pushing it absolutely to the limit here. It's a little bit tricky of a corner, so we do end up sliding a little bit here, but we're able to recover, taking all of our speed out of it. Therefore, P17 it is still, as some drivers have gone off again. Up to P16 even. A little bit later on. Maltese to try and defend. Gonna be surprised if there's an opportunity soon. Try and get by. Then the left-hander there. Before you go onto that follow here. This one's flat out. At least in these cars. And P15 it is then. Kharkov still ahead of us. The Ferrari falling off a little bit here pace-wise. So we're fighting here to be in that midfield. Unfortunately, we make a small mistake, small slip up, which will then cost us the position again. We try the Ferrari going really wide here. This could be an interesting battle in the long term as well. Both drivers making a couple mistakes here and there. But time will tell. The driver that you see there into the back here, it's one of the Mustangs that has spun around. That was the car of Gilson. A little bit tough, but that does push up another position here. And as we're keeping the race relatively clean, you can just tell how much position that's gaining us just by being consistent in the first place, whereas other drivers are pushing it way harder than we are. In return, they also make a couple more mistakes. A bit later on to the race, we are in lap 5. Kind of find ourselves driving in no man's land there. A small mistake, small loss of control has allowed the McLaren to go up and go by as well here. Very aggressive move there. We're just a little bit more careful with the approach. Looking to recover, looking to make our way by again. Currently still in our starting position, which is higher than our ELO shows we should be. catching up to Zaitsev now. Kharkov is still in that mix as well. Some back as it is. Into the right, then there we go, and then full throttle all the way again. As you can see, Kharkov is holding up the car ahead of us here, so that might open a small window of opportunity later on. Try and get by here. But first we need to get into that slipstream, which at the moment we are kind of too far for. Only turning, we do seem to gain a little bit here, but is our exit as good as well? It appears to be quite alright actually. Too far to really make use of it here. We brake late, which will cover up some time as well. And unfortunately not able to get there just yet, but we are going to keep trying to push up all the way. Small mistake now made by the McLaren. Maybe around the outside then. It's tough and they do defend the outside quite nicely. So we try again on the other outside now. Turning in way sharper than he is. But unfortunately we can't get onto the exit. He's just in the way there. He's physically blocking there. Obviously that is allowed as well. He's just slower on that line. There's nothing he can do. Apart from the alternative thing. Which is going off track. Which is obviously very suboptimal. P16. Is the current spot we are in, using the maximum we can in terms of track limits. This corner is more tricky than it appears to be. Very easy to go too eager onto the throttle. Get the best of it, luckily. P14 a little bit later on. We've lost the McLaren as the Aston Martin's going quite wide. That's Kharkov again. Has made a mistake, so Matisse is getting closer. Now for a move down the inside. This is a beautiful move there. Stuck successfully as well, and this is a little bit too aggressive. He wasn't entitled to space there. But it is just hard racing, so sometimes that happens. And let's make his way through here. But you can tell that the racecraft on Matisse is improving. And so is the pace as well. We're a lot more competitive than we were before, which just shows that this game is all about the it's all about the consistency in practice, of course. Couldn't really find the word for it, don't know why, but that's embarrassing. P14 it is though, still a good position to be in. Safe to say we are a midfield contender now pace-wise. So seems to have found our groove. Getting in there. Hoping to recover. Kharkov once again so slow. And we were able to catch up. It seems like he's struggling to handle the pressure. P14 it is for Jan Matisse. And the Aston once again just struggling for grip here. Obviously that is a rear wheel drive, rear engined car. Not mistaken. That's a little bit tough. He's losing the control. Oh, of course, wait. Is the... No, I think it's not actually. I think it might have been front engined. Coming into the next corner once again cleanly. Getting closer and closer to Kharkov here. Not able to give up the position, of course, so he's going to be trying to defending. See that the consistency is up there for both the drivers. Still on the consistency here, but Kharkov's getting away from us. As we're losing track of him, but as we both come in. It's all gonna come down to the pits here. There we go. Recovering. Coming into the pits and serving our mandatory pit stop here. Just taking our time. Gotta make sure that we do it according to how we're supposed to do it. And here we start our car and we are off again. P13 it is, so we come out of the pits. You can see that Kharkov is now falling off all the way. It was slower, but we're way too aggressive on the entry of Maggots and Beckett. So keen to get away. Luckily, we avoid collateral damage, but unfortunately, that is just one Ferrari pushing through now. Not like that, surely. It's frustrating. P16 it is after the pit stop as we are trying our best. Obviously that small mistake doesn't help either. Pushed to P17 as the driver ahead of us did just push us down. The HUD just tends to update a little bit later on ACC. Getting closer towards the end of the race as well. There's only a couple minutes remaining. Getting closer up to Kharkov, who has come by us. Means we're going to be trying to recover at least to gain that P15 would be nice here. Be absolutely brilliant. Unfortunately, we're just not able to do so just yet. And where we cross that line, slow Porsche on the inside, it's not going to help us. Making by and we kind of hesitate. Yeah, you can say goodbye to the position then. Just such an unfortunate position for the Porsche to be in there. Couldn't give us room. Therefore, fortunately, that would just be the end of that. P16 as it stands. More drivers have disconnected already, I believe. We saw it in the background. So we're getting closer to the end here. Just working on that consistency. Obviously safe terrain is going to boost up again as the incidents have been fairly marginal. I think most of them will be done as racing incidents anyways. And we've had a couple spins, we've got a couple up off tracks, but even though those do count, it's been really good towards the end there. Now, ESP16 with Kharkov within 1.8 seconds. It's not too bad, of course. As we are now most likely on the last lap of the race here. Waiting for it to be over. It's obviously quite a commitment to race these longer races. There we make a small mistake. We spin around. Luckily the car behind us is able to get out of the way there, but maybe that's also the nerves kicking in a little bit there. Hoping that we are able to recover. Oof, and there on the throttle all towards the end of the race. It's frustrating as well, but rejoining now loses us a couple positions again. Most of these drivers are lapping us anyways, so that's no problem, but even then, that hurts. Just so tough when you see a race end like that. Almost done here. Getting closer to crossing that finish. Hoping that our end result will be good here. Making it through, and some drivers have already disconnected, so that P6 is not entirely accurate anymore. We have lost 3 already. Here we go. Cross the line. Come to a stop immediately. So here's the end result. It's not too bad if you think about it, really. P18, I believe that is, or P17. Looks like P17. No, P18 it is. Elo does go down. Our safety rating has improved a little bit here. Obviously, we did have some touches in the end. But the Elo's not doing too well. But yeah, here are the results then as well. New Elo has gone down significantly as well. But that's obviously what happens if you're a rookie. Kind of put you in the middle. Just not entirely sure where to put you. Not bad at all. And then safety rating has gone up massively the way as well. All in the span a couple days. So that's not bad at all. 4.19 is genuinely impressive. Now getting onto the findings of the week as well here. Well, we're too slow at the moment. That kind of speaks for it. And obviously the amount of races also do play a little bit into this. That's just how it is sometimes. Make sure you don't overwork yourself, especially if you're kind of new to it. And, well, we have shown massive improvement as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Showing the goals for the next week here. Going to be training a little bit more before entering the races to do a better qualifying. And it would be nice as well to get our safe ring up to 5 so that we could do some duo cups as well as get out of the rookie races, which are hopefully a lot more clean. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And I will speak to you guys later. On to next week.